Hey, so I am going Facebook Live again. I'm going to try and do this every day. For those who are confused, it's basically the opposite of what I used to do. I used to record it, post it to YouTube, and then share it to Facebook. Now I'm trying Facebook Live, and then I'm going to download it and upload it to YouTube. I don't know. We'll see if there's any difference. So what we're talking about today are three of the things that really help my business that you wouldn't think would have helped the business. So I'm going to talk about what those are. First of all, just housekeeping, right? If you like this, click like, share it, comment. If you want any Facebook Lives or any YouTube videos about something that that you feel you want to learn about, put in a comment, and I'll be happy to do a recording on it. Also, our next live meeting, our next virtual meeting, is Thursday, June 25th, 4 p.m. via Google Hangout. I'm going to put the link below. And if you want more information about how I can help you, if you're interested in flipping or wholesaling, you can go to www.howtoflipnewyork.com. So the three things that really help my business that you wouldn't think are first I want to list them. So number one is being licensed, being a licensed agent. I'm a licensed broker. The second is joining a mastermind that I guess you would think would help. And the third is really documenting processes. So let me talk about why those things are a little bit counterintuitive. So being licensed has really helped me for three reasons. And I talk about it all the time. And I know there's a lot of gurus out there in other parts of the country that say you shouldn't be licensed. And I think they say that for two reasons. First of all, in some states, there's really, they're very tough about fiduciary responsibility. So if you're coming to buy a property and you don't disclose that you're an agent, it could seem like you're not doing the right thing for the client. I never had that issue mentioned in New York ever. Never had it. Never became an issue. So, and also a lot of gurus out there teach that in your sales process, when you're trying to get a seller to sell you a house, you want to knock realtors. Don't list it. Those guys stink. I've always felt that's a stupid idea because the truth is we find 90% of houses that get sold are going to get sold by realtors on multiple listing service. So the three reasons why I think everyone that's investing in real estate, wholesaling or flipping should be licensed are: number one, to get access to multiple listing service data. Multiple listing service, the MLS, is by far the best way to comp out properties and figure out what something's worth. There is an option now that's pretty good, which is called PropStream. If you're interested in getting that, I think I'm the only person in the world that gives a rebate on that, where you can get it cheaper. But so the number one reason is to get the best information so that you can comp out properties and know what something's worth. The second reason is so that you can list your own properties. So if you are wholesaling or rehabbing a property and you're going to have to sell it to the open market, you're going to have to list it for sale. So if you can control that yourself, it's very helpful. And I do a bunch of videos about little tricks that you can do to get things sold that aren't moving. But having control of that listing is important. And the third is, if you go on enough appointments, you're going to meet sellers who are going to want to list. So really two things happen. First is I go into properties sometimes and they're in no rush. Property's in perfect shape. And I've said maybe 100 times to hundreds of sellers, you have no business selling this house to me. You're going to leave $150,000 on the table if you do that. Just let me list it for you. That happens. And also sometimes you set appointments and people don't even understand the concept of an investor buyer and they think you're just there as a realtor. And I have literally gone to appointments where I wanted to buy the house and left with a listing agreement. So I always bring listing agreements with me. And I feel like being listed has been very helpful, even taking listings. Now, to be honest, taking listings is a little bit of a pain, right? Dealing with buyers and dealing with open houses is not easy. So I have the luxury of having a dispositions manager who really runs that for me. And he's great, Ken. But if you're starting out in the business, being licensed is very, very helpful for all those reasons. Getting good information, listing your own deals, and you can also list wholesale deals, by the way, in my area. You just can't represent that you own the property. You just have to write that you're the contract vendee. And also taking listings. So the first thing that's really helped my business that you wouldn't think was being a licensed real estate broker or a licensed agent. The second thing that helped my business is being a member of a national mastermind. So I'm a member of a group called Investor Fuel. And it's about 150 to 200 people, and we meet quarterly. And there's really three huge benefits that I got from being part of a mastermind. The first is that it opened my eyes to see, what people can do. So there are things people did that I still can't believe they did. So just to give you an example, there's a woman in Texas who started a business just a few years ago, grew the business to doing over 100 deals a year, and then really gave over management of the business to a COO, a chief operating officer. She was able to walk away. So she was running a business and really by only working a few hours a day. So that's pretty amazing to me that somebody could do that. Also, I met another guy who was doing 50 deals a month, 50. And I never thought that would be possible, but just going to a mastermind, you sort of see things that are possible. So that's the first benefit that I got. The second benefit is that if things aren't going well with you for whatever reason, you can sort of commiserate with other people. So I'll give you a good example. When I first joined the mastermind, the company was having a lot of issues with pay-per-click, right? We were spending a lot of money with Google, like over $10,000 a month with Google for pay-per-click, and we really weren't getting results. And when I went to the mastermind, maybe 18 other people got up and spoke and said the same thing, that recently Google had not been working. So that was incredibly comforting and therapeutic to me, but also let me know that obviously Google changed their algorithm and it was affecting a lot of people. So that made me feel better and also allowed us to, good morning, Tyler. It also allowed us to switch from Google, out of Google pay-per-click and stop spending the money. And it wasn't an easy decision because we had prepaid for a full year of management and we're only about 6 months into that year and we had to walk away from 6 months. But I realized that this wasn't working not just for me, but it wasn't working all across the country. Now, having said that, there are people who probably went into pay-per-click right after I got out, did it right, and made money on it. So I'm not saying it didn't work, but for me, I saw that whatever I was doing and the management company I was using just wasn't working. So that's the second thing I got from being in a mastermind. And the third thing I got is that you can actually solve problems. So if you have issues and you don't know how to do things, you lean on the other members of the mastermind, and it's helpful. And not just at the quarterly meetings, but the whole year. There's Facebook groups that you can talk to, and the people in Investorfield are incredibly generous and giving. So being part of the mastermind had a huge, huge positive impact on my business. The third thing was really documenting processes. So when I was doing this myself or with a partner, we did everything ourselves. So we would, every part of the marketing process, every part of the leads management process, every part of the dispositions process was done by us. And that is a difficult place to be in and really puts you in an impossible situation to scale the business. You only have so many hours a day. And the only way to scale a business is to either delegate to other people or automate with some kind of technology. By documenting processes for both dispositions and leads management, I was able to hire a leads manager and really give them exactly what they needed, not just scripts, but a priority list of what their job was to do. For example, like answer live calls was number one, but certain leads should be answered over others. Like a direct mail lead was more valuable to a ringless voicemail lead, which usually stink. So documenting those processes allowed me to delegate to a dispositions manager and a leads manager, which allowed the business to grow. And it's a pain in the butt the first time you do it to actually document all your processes. How does this work? What are the choices? What are the decisions? What are the priorities? But by doing that, it allowed me to finally hire people to allow the business to grow. So those really are the three things that I think help grow the business that are a little counterintuitive. I'm not going to talk about, getting through the tough times and being resilient and persistent. I think that goes without saying. People that aren't resilient and persistent are not going to be successful at anything, certainly not in the real estate investment business. But I think that it's crucial to understand that sort of opening your eyes by talking to other people who are successful at it, or maybe going through the same problems as you, through a mastermind or other ways, and documenting your processes so that you can delegate it or automate it or both when the time comes is crucially important. And again, being licensed, I still believe if you're doing this in New York is very important, and it's extremely helpful. It's brought in a lot of additional income to us via listing commissions, which again are not huge, but they're big in New York. An average listing commission could be $12,000-$15,000, which in a lot of parts of this country, like Phoenix and Dallas, is more than you'll get on an assignment fee when you wholesale a property. So I think it's very, very important to be licensed for those three reasons that I gave, and I think it has helped my business tremendously. So again, if anybody has any requests for any topics that you want me to go Facebook Live, I'm going to go Facebook Live for the near future. And this is just a reverse of what I've been doing. Instead of recording something for YouTube and then sharing it with Facebook, I'm going to go Facebook Live, download it, and put it on YouTube. But again, if anybody has any questions, I want to thank everybody that showed up, no matter when you're watching this, and hopefully this Facebook Live was helpful to you.